made a Bloodborne the Old Hunters trailer review for my Halloween video, and now that the DLC is actually out, why don't we take a look at it? The Old Hunters is, well, how should I put this? Awesome! Oh my god, I couldn't have asked for anything else. This DLC has blown my expectations out of the water. At every part of it I was in awe, and just when I thought it couldn't get any better, bam! It shot me with something even more exciting. I mean, everything about this game is just gruesome and lovely at the same time. The items, the areas, the enemies, the lore. It just took a great game and made it 10 times better than it already is. Now let's just start by stating how to access the DLC. So after beating Vicar Amelia, you have to go to the Hunter's Dream. Then, you have to get the Blood-Drunken Hunter Eye and the Old Hunter Bell. Then you have to walk outside of the Cathedral Ward and get picked up by the Big Amygdala, and you're off. You spawn in what seems to be the Cathedral Ward, but then you realize that some things are different. And then you walk outside and realize, oh, no. What has happened here? It looks like the Great Deku Tree showed up here and just decided to wreck everything. And be prepared, this area is not for beginners. All of the enemies are powerful, and anyone with low level gear should be prepared to be crushed on impact. I came to this area with level 9 or 10 weapons, so I was able to take these guys without much of a struggle. But even with some of the best gear in the game, they still pack a punch. And I thought this was worth mentioning. You get some pretty good weapons pretty early on in this game if you look around a lot. For example, you can find the weapon that is most commonly used by the hunters in the beginning of the DLC around their area if you find the right corpse. It's called the Beast Cutter, and the reach on that thing is nasty. In the original game, you only got the Saw Cleaver, the Hunter Axe, or the Threaded Cane. Yawn. But in this DLC, you can get weapons like the Beast Cutter, the Beast Hunter Safe, and even the Whirligig Saw pretty early on. And those are some of the best weapons in the DLC. The armor sets this time around aren't the most thrilling, sadly. I just stuck with my usual Canehurst armor set mixed with the Golden Ardeo. I find this armor mixture funny because in Bloodborne lore, the Golden Ardeo was the headpiece of a band of executioners who have it out for the Canehurst Vilebloods. The Canehurst armor set I'm also wearing is what the Knights of Canehurst would have worn into battle. What also makes this weird is that I'm a member of the League. Next. The first boss fight of the Old Hunters is Ludwig the Accursed. In the last video I said that this boss fight looks pretty difficult, and I was definitely right. Not to mention he also switches his fighting styles midway through the fight. He goes from very terrifying horse creature to very terrifying horse creature holding a glowing moon sword. The stuff that comes out of these developers' minds, man. Remember on the Bloodborne the Old Hunters trailer review when I said that this game was going to get a huge popularity boost in the upcoming months? I was very, very right. The online servers were so crowded that I waited time periods that ranged from 30 minutes to even 2 hours, and I didn't get any summons. In fact, I took a video of myself displaying the long load times, and I had been waiting for a pretty long time at the point I filmed this. Hey guys, I'm Tomshark here, and remember how in my old, the Bloodborne Old Hunters DLC trailer analysis, whatever it was called, I said that it would probably be pretty popular? I was very correct. I have been sitting here for an hour now, waiting for someone, or waiting to join someone else's game. I've literally, like, not too long ago, I was trying to get someone else to join my game. Took about half an hour until I eventually just went, okay, this isn't worth it. So I decided to try to join someone else's game to see if it would work. I've been here for another probably half an hour waiting for this game to load so I can actually join another player's world. It is packed. Every boss fight is packed. However, if the servers were running smoothly, I got summons very quickly and I made a lot of progress with the people I partnered up with. Basically, it was either you got summons in little to no time, or the servers were so backed up you could wait for hours without having any luck. Thank the Lord I found summons though. Some of the boss fights in this are single player nightmares. After defeating Ludwig, the game from there on out gets indescribably harder. The research hall is where you would come upon next, and it is utter insanity. There are enemies everywhere. There are weird blobby-headed people, there are Gatling gun guys, and there's even a hunter on one of the floors. That's right, I said one of the floors. There are 5, by the way, not including the rafters. I didn't even care. I saw the boss door on one floor below where I was, and I just jumped down. I'm sure I was supposed to go another path to get to it, but do I really care? No. I spent 3 real-life hours getting through this place. Living failures. Whoops, I guess I should join them, but not today. This boss fight becomes immensely easier if you get the lock shield in the research hall, because it protects against every single magic ability in the game. And for being living failures, they definitely don't fail in kicking the ever-living souls out of people. But I defeated them, by myself, without the lock shield. The next boss fight is even crazier. It's a 1v1 fight between you and Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. Now, some of the blobby heads in the earlier area actually talk, and they mention stuff about Lady Maria being a saint. Is this what you qualify as a saint? She is using one of the most overpowered weapons in the game, the Rakuyo. I got invaded by someone with this weapon when I first got the DLC, and he or she, I couldn't tell because it happened so fast, wrecked me within less than a second. But I eventually defeated this lady with the help of a few summons. Now, the blobby-headed people also mentioned something about a lot of water sounds, but I kind of ignored them because why would I listen to some weird blobby-headed strangers who I just happened to run into someday? Water sounds. I don't believe a word of the... Well, looks like it's time to go fishing, boys! God, the enemies in this area are harder than Lady Maria on steroids. Not specifically these guys, but definitely these guys. That's why I don't go walking around here anymore. When you get to the boss, be ready to be shoved into a bag, thrown off a cliff into a pit filled with fire ants and spikes, because that is the lesser equivalent of this. This poor soul is known as the Orphan of Kos, which means a huge Bloodborne lore thread is finally connected. For those of you who don't know, there was this guy really late into the game called Mikolash, the host of the Nightmare of Mensis. Now, I would tell you guys what the School of Mensis is, but it would take a whole nother video to do so. Basically, throughout his boss fight, he mentions a lot about this Kos or Cosm guy, and he asks if he hears his prayers. And now we know that Kos is actually a real being, and not just a figment of insanity. Kos is a great one, in fact. We know this now because if the boss fight is called the Orphan of Kos, and he came out of this thing, then this is definitely Kos. Also, this guy is incredibly difficult. If you come into this fight, bring a summon or two because you will get maimed if you don't. The first time I attempted this boss fight, I had 2 other summons with me, and 2/3 into the fight, me and one of my other summons got instantly one-shotted. By the way, I want his weapon. Clearly by watching this guy's fighting styles, it can be used with 1 hand, 2 hands, it has a ranged attack, and it definitely has some distance on that swing. Speaking of awesome weapons, guess what I found? That pick thing I mentioned last Bloodborne video. I actually predicted how much I would like this weapon very well. It's the perfect weapon for me, and I'm very disappointed that I leveled up the Beast Hunter safe first before I found the church pick. But the Beast Hunter safe is cool too. Okay, back to the Orphan Great One here. When you finally kill this poor little Orphan Great One, you only get prey slaughtered as your victory. However, if you kill his spirit right next to his parent, then you get Nightmare slain. And that, my friends, is the end of the Bloodborne DLC. I had a lot of fun, and there's still a lot more fun to be had. I still have to find all the weapons, I still have to complete all of the side quests, and I also want to get that weird brain rune thingy. It makes it look kind of funny. Thank you guys so much for watching, and... Hey, wait a minute. If I was on the hunt, doesn't that mean I'll be taking a trip to the Hunter's Nightmare soon too? I'm sure I'll be fine. I'll see you all next video, and a good hunt to you all. Peace out. Ah, what a lovely day. Well, this sucks. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you liked the video, then like it because it makes the likelihood of my videos getting more likes even higher. If you really enjoyed the video and you want to see more videos from yours truly, then subscribe to see when I post new videos. Also, guess what? It's Christmas, and you know what that means. A Christmas video by me, Tomshark, will be out very soon. I hope you have a nice December, and I will see you all next video. Merry Christmas!